All right, we are here with Mike Reeves, head coach at Letterman. David Heldreth, as always. Mike, thanks for making the journey, coming out, having a little conversation.
Of course, man.
Tell us about Letterman. What do you guys do? What are you guys about?
Letterman's a brand house. We develop, market, and sell modern cannabis brands to the Oregon recreational market.
Awesome. And some of those brands are?
Shoot, we have Sticks and Cabana pre-rolls. Cabana is our premium pre-roll. Sticks is our affordable pre-roll. We have Bezel in partnership with True Terpenes. That's our vape brand. We have Buku, also in partnership with True Terpenes. That's our edible brand. We also provide distribution services to Orchid, a big vape pen company out of California, Blaze, a local Oregon edible company, and Viola, owned by it's an extract company owned by former NBA player Al Harrington.
Yeah, Al. Awesome. How long have you guys been an active company?
Shoot, we're coming up on 3 years. We started April 16 officially.
And what did you do prior?
I was a sales and marketing guy at Golden Leaf Holdings, which was has now become Chalice Farms, I believe. Mm-hmm. And at the time when I was there, they were the biggest cannabis company in the world.
You were managing sales, growing business.
Yeah, man. I started off as a marketing guy, and then they moved me over to sales. That's why I started building my network and quickly realized what the opportunity was here and decided to start doing my own project.
Totally. That's one of the things I see in not just like the cultivation of your guys' brands, but literally everything you do is kind of from a really unique angle and perspective in the business. And that's why I wanted to talk with you, because I feel like you come from a really interesting place in it, and it's just different.
Yeah.
And I wondered what informs that sensibility.
Our mission at Letterman is to normalize cannabis, right? And ultimately, if we normalize cannabis, we open up bigger demographics, bigger markets, right? Being in the industry, I'm not a big fan of how it's represented, outwardly. The red, green, yellow lion branding on everything. Like, my mom doesn't want those products.
Yeah.
I talk about that all the time. I'm trying to make products my mom wants. Well, my mom can walk into a dispensary, find the product she wants, and know the experience she's going to get, and she trusts that. Like, we're really winning then, So we're trying to come at it with a little different angle than the traditional, cannabis industry. All our brands, we call them really accessible. We try to brand closer to, traditional brands, traditional packaged goods brands, because that makes it more accessible. People are more comfortable with that. It's just a different angle,
And in a way too, I feel like you guys offer a different platform to cultivators and stuff that maybe don't have the brand development experience that you guys might have, so it gives them a platform to work with.
Yeah, we're the first group to really take that traditional packaged good brand model. So we are a solution for cultivators. Like, a lot of them don't have a network in which to sell their products. They don't want to have a network. They're farmers. They're not salespeople, right? So by sourcing material from them for our brands, we're a solution for them. And it's a very traditional model. People are just starting to pick up this traditional brand model, and we were kind of ahead of the curve here in Oregon, especially here in Oregon.
100%. I will agree.
Sounds very similar to kind of maybe mentioning like kind of what Starbucks does with farmers or coffee brands, like you're mentioning. I mean, not mentioning that, but kind of similar type of idea where you're taking these farmers, are creating this amazing product, but they don't have a market, and then it allows you to create unique products as well.
Right, exactly. And a big part of that is doing what we're good at. What we're good at is products, brands, and marketing, right? And what they're good at is growing weed, right? So we do what we're good at, they do what they're good at, and everybody wins.
Yeah, I think that's something I appreciate in conversations that I've had with you before about stuff. You're like, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Like, I focused on this, and this is what we do.
Yep, exactly.
And I do really respect that, because that is something that I think is really different for the industry as a whole.
Right. Yeah, everybody's trying to vertically integrate everything, right? And that's kind of clunky. We are just brands, right? And as we expand, we're going to expand via licensing deals. So we can move fast. All we need on the ground in a new market is a licensing partner, and putting a brand team on the ground, internal brand team on the ground, and that allows us to move really quickly.
And have you built the suite of brands that you guys offer with that intention from the start? Because honestly, from the outside looking in, has always felt like that. You've been the most assertive, the most clearly messaged, some of the most visible too.
Yeah.
I remember your guys' billboard.
Yeah.
It was like a big deal. It still is a big deal.
That was fun, man.
It was really understated too. I thought it was really, really classy, really cool.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, but from the outside looking in, it always seems like that's been a primary focus. Is like, and is that because it's how you get that broad normalization? Is that the motivation?
Yeah, I mean, really, the style of our brands is part of that normalization, and then we're trying to normalize the industry as well, right? Like I said, everyone's trying to vertically integrate. They're trying to build out these big extraction labs. They're trying to build out cultivation, just to eventually put these products into their brands, right? We're taking that traditional brand model, and we're gonna find partners to do what they're good at. We're gonna do what we're good at, and like I said, it's gonna allow us to move really fast. Eventually, it's all gonna end up like this, right? It's all gonna come down to brand. This is consumer packaged goods. It's all gonna come down to brand. We feel like we're pretty ahead, and we hope to bring the industry towards our strategy, because that's where it's gonna end up.
Well, how do you sell these products to this larger audience? Like, what are some of the differences to marketing towards your mom than marketing towards someone who consumes every day?
I on that front, really, a lot of it comes down to brand and messaging. In this, I don't want to give too much of the secret sauce here, but in this industry, right? I'm just gonna put out the abbreviated version here. In this industry, every decision, obviously it's a generalization, but every decision is made at the point of sale, right? There aren't really traditional outside advertising opportunities, right? So our focus is creating accessible brands. The first step is creating a brand that my mom sees on the shelf and it's comfortable to her, right? The second part of that is the messaging. That in our partnership with True Terpenes, we keep that messaging really simple. We have up, which is active and social. We have down, which is calm and relaxed, right? My mom can relate to that. My mom can be comfortable with that. She's not getting some abstract answer about how the terpenes do this and do this, and it ends up with this effect. It's really cut and dry. It's like this terpene profile is going to create this general effect. This terpene profile is going to create another general effect, and that's all part of it. I think the biggest thing is it's like the visual brand, and then the messaging around that.
Simplifying that has, I think, been really brilliant for you guys, because it takes into account the level of buyer sophistication and where that's at. We've discussed pretty frequently how far that's come in a short period of time, but also kind of where that leads. Like, we've both been in situations where we've seen people walk out of dispensaries where a $4 gram is too much. So it's, again, figuring out where the actual commoditization lever is and how to engage that.
Right.
And so by making that super simple and streamlining that process, I think you're kind of ahead of the curve, like you've said on a bunch of different things.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Like, I don't necessarily, that's definitely a part of the secret sauce, I think.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, again, this is like very, really general, right? But everybody walking the weed store has no brand loyalty, no brand affinity, no product loyalty, no product affinity. Like, honestly, like little product awareness. Most people walking into a weed store don't even know about the products, right? So if we can create that messaging that breaks it down, keeps it really simple for them, we're going to win on that, Plus, if we can educate the consumer, right, then they're going to enter the market. They're going to enter the market a lot quicker, right? Yeah. So we're trying to make them comfortable and feel like they can trust what they're getting and understand what they're getting.
Totally. You guys have been a standard bearer too, like some of the Cabana strains being Philo certified as well, starting to bring that into play. I think you guys work with pretty frontline, well-known strains by and large.
Oh yeah, yep.
Definitely things that people know, knock out that kind of accessibility thing. I think that's super unique too. You do see like that in the marketplace a lot. Like, and not that we're all heavy stoners or whatever, but I've never been a fan of tie-dye personally, right?
Sure. The
Rasta tricolors. So it's interesting seeing how it's all getting worked together. But again, I think in some ways that works to the cultivator's favor or whatever.
Yeah. We hope to elevate their brand by putting it next to ours, and we hope to elevate our brand by putting it next to theirs as well.
Yeah. So tell us about Sticks more, because that was the foundation for the company.
Yeah,
right? Like that was the first thing that built your guys' presence.
Yeah, I'm really proud of what we did there. So we set out to build our Sticks pre-roll brand, right? We understood, so there was a huge need in the market for like a quality pre-roll. When you bought a pre-roll, a house pre-roll from a shop, it was kind of a crapshoot whether it was going to work or not, right? Not like literally whether it was going to work. And so we imported a milling machine from Germany that was made for hops, and it had 6 different particle sizes, and then in the knockbox we had 3 different densities, and we made combinations of all of them, and we used the bud tenders as our focus group. We sent out packs of joints with a link to an online survey, right? And the data told us real quick like what that magic formula was, and we just dove into that. And we have about 35% of the branded pre-roll market with sticks, and it's a great product, man. It burns like a cigarette. You can like put them down in the ashtray, and they're just gonna stay burning really slowly. So I'm really proud of what we did, and then we carried that over in Cabana as well. You know, Cabana's a little tougher because that material, that really high quality indoor material, it's a lot more finicky. We can't apply just the standard recipe to it. We actually have to figure out what particle size and density works best based on the material, so it's a little longer process. But I'm really proud of what we did with those pre-rolls, man.
That's pretty amazing, and that's huge market penetration too. I mean, sticks
Yeah.
are literally everywhere. 30% of this market is no joke.
Yeah.
There's
Awesome.
600 licensed dispensaries in Oregon.
Yeah, just about, man.
Yeah, something like that.
We're in about 500 of those.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea just how many pre-rolls do you think you sell a year?
God, I should know the answer to that.
Sorry,
but I
I
don't.
just feel like it'd be a ridiculous
So-
number.
So here's the reality. We don't sell as many as we could because we can't source enough material. That's the reality.
Interesting. That's I guess a good problem to have
It
in a way.
is. Yeah, it is a good problem, man. Yeah, but I mean, we could sell even more if we had the material, and that's something we're working on. We've considered buying some farms around that, but again, we're pretty committed to doing what we're good at and finding those partners to create that material for us.
On the cultivator side of it, how much do you feel like you guys drive the market because of what you consume?
Man, I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if we have a ton of influence there. We have a little bit. We've definitely encouraged farmers to grow variety, right? It's harder to move 50 pounds of one strain than it is 10 pounds of 5 strains, and that's been something we've really been pushing with our cultivation partners. When you break it down, normally the numbers make sense, right? They're used to monocropping because the yield is up, but if they can get a higher price per pound or price per gram on that variety, which they can, then the numbers usually add up there.
How has it been to watch the precipitous fall of prices?
It's brutal, man. I think for a while we were in the habit of trying to enforce our will in the sense of the products, right? I just had a long discussion with Chris about this yesterday. I don't like it, but the reality is for edibles, the market is at really cheap single 50 milligram doses.
Yeah.
I don't think that is great for the market. I don't think it's the future of the market, but it's the present. And it's a reality we don't like, but it's a reality that's real.
Yeah, I can say that coming from the Happy Kitchen project for sure.
Right,
Like,
exactly, man. Yeah, we're having to kind of pivot on that front. But
I believe it.
yeah, yeah.
We were David and I were discussing earlier to clue folks in. True Terpenes also owns an edibles kitchen called Happy Kitchen. We developed out a gluten-free paleo bar, vegan, high omega-3s, super effective 50 milligram bar that just absolutely tanked in the marketplace because when it really comes down to it, like you say, people are still, this is early enough in the game, there's still so much novelty to it that really, like, that's a pretty niche market that we were shooting for.
Yeah.
I'm still stoked that we did it because the first guy through the door always gets shot.
Sure.
And it's okay to be the first guy,
Sure,
I guess. It's
sure.
worked out okay for us,
Yeah.
and I'm thankful for the experience that it gave us. But yeah, that's that level of buyer sophistication. It's probably not going to get there.
It's not there right now.
Or yeah, it's
You know.
not there now.
Yeah.
And that's really all that matters, right?
It will get there though.
Yeah.
And we want to be on the forefront of that when it gets there, but we kind of had to just kind of settle into the reality, unfortunately.
Totally. And that's the thing we talk about too with kind of the progenitors of this scene, like that the early guys maybe aren't getting like the best representation in this because the market, like, again, I think guys like me who are heavy pot smokers are probably a very small percentage of the market, honestly.
Yeah, at
Like,
scale especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't account for much at all, so
Right.
I don't blame the market for going in whatever direction, again, the normalization market is interested in, because that's all in our best interest, right? What's good for the goose is good for the gander, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean when I say I don't think those, high dose low cost edibles are good for the industry, because I don't think that's the future. I think we're keeping the I don't want to say the mass market consumer, but the non current cannabis consumer out of it, because that's pretty intimidating. It's not very accessible. They want a 2 milligram dose, they want a 5 milligram dose, and when there's a real market for that, and when dispensaries are buying into that, and when they're educating folks around them about that, that's when we're really winning.
Definitely. It's interesting because in Washington, for example, you can't have anything above a 10 milligram. So it's interesting to see how the different regulatory bodies are also shaping these markets, because I didn't realize Oregon had that big of an allowance, but Colorado, I believe, is similar to Oregon, or Washington, sorry, where you have that 10 milligram limit. And I think that is a lot safer dose for the average person.
Yeah. In Oregon, the limit is 5 milligrams.
Oh, is it?
As long as it's scored.
Gotcha.
So you can take a tiny 50 milligram edible and score it up and make it,
10 doses or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Even though people probably aren't consuming it that way. And I think that 5 milligram dose is responsible, and I think, a hot take right here is, at scale, I think that standard dose is going to be smaller than 5 milligrams.
Really?
I mean, you got to think, as soon as there's some sort of crisis with a child getting into one of these products, there's gonna be a lot of backlash to that. You think about
Fair.
you think about a kid gets a hold of a child gets a hold of a bottle of tequila. It's just the volume and the taste is going to deter them, right?
Yeah.
But a kid could get a 500 milligram edible and a piece of chocolate and eat that no problem, and their brain is fried.
I'm gonna see your hot take, and I'm gonna raise you a hot take.
Okay.
I think the extra feature is that people who know and want to be taking 500 milligrams are just going to be buying their own oil and decarbing it, and doing it themselves, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think you're probably right in that. There probably will be some sort of terrible crisis.
Right.
It's inevitable.
Right.
There will be a cap on things that will go back to being an underground thing where you get space cakes from your buddy that makes some crazy brownies or
Exactly.
whatever.
Just if you want to get that moonshine now or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, the market might just dictate that as normalization happens, because we're not, you and I, high dose users, aren't the normal, and so people won't want these things.
Yeah.
Right. And they will definitely want low dose.
Well, certain
at scale.
people,
At
but
scale, they'll want low dose, though, I think.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is the larger market doesn't want 50 milligrams.
My mom wants 3.
Yeah.
That's where she's at.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think that's good too, because I don't want your mom or my mom freaking out on 50 milligrams either.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
yeah, it's good for everybody.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting though. I honestly think that about a lot of stuff in cannabis though, because so much of it is stuff that's, weed's been around a real long time, man. We've been doing lots of stuff with it for a long, long time. So
Right.
there is so much that I do see in the future of this as normalization, education, buyer sophistication comes along, where they're going to connect the dots and be like, oh, I can do that myself for sure.
Right.
I've seen a couple build your own kits of
Sure.
edibles and things like that. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. I'm always interested to see what the next niche is, or maybe not even what the next one is, but just a compelling one.
Yeah. I mean, it's all going to come down to different delivery systems. The interesting thing about cannabis is, with alcohol, right? There's pretty much one delivery system, right? Cannabis is everything. There's edibles, there's tinctures, there's topicals, there's vape pens, there's flour.
Do you guys have anything in packs format?
No, we're working on getting bezel on that.
Cool.
Someone working with Chris on,
Awesome. And that's not a complete just because I'm a personal fan.
Dude, me too. Yeah.
I think that is the single most revolutionary thing. The lockout function.
Yeah.
And I've heard talk of them being able to couple barcodes within the pod themselves to the app, so that you would know how many milligrams you're getting per draw.
Wow.
That's you're talking about making it a true medical device at that point. I think that's incredible.
And with that new, I don't know, it's a software update or what update they had on it. That hits way better. That was my only gripe back when they first came out. It just didn't hit that well, right? Now it hits.
I mean, it's amazing that you even have something that you can just get an update and change the settings,
Yeah,
because the hardware is controllable. There's nothing like that in the market.
It's like a fucking Tesla,
And I think
crazy.
it's cool too. I 710 batteries are super wasteful.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just a thing.
Right. Right.
dumb stuff like USB connectivity or whatever, not needing like a super weird screw base or whatever clunky,
exactly.
like just the user interface stuff
Yeah.
I find really attractive. I'm compelled by that stuff anyway, but like they really, really nailed it.
Yeah, they killed that. Very impressive.
Yeah.
And that's the future.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I was curious about that. I think and I've said before too, I think like 30 years, let's say. Like I think smoking in general is going to be
Man.
probably like
I talk about this all the time.
Like
yeah.
I'm going to be a dinosaur, man. I got
Right.
a cigarette tattoo.
Look what the FDA did recently with the vaping flavored.
Yes.
Even like it's so yeah. I mean, if they're doing that to that, what do you think they're going to do to cigarettes?
Yeah, exactly.
So and I mean like flower as well, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think like dudes that smoke joints and blunts and stuff now are going to be like like us are going to be
we're all the dinosaurs.
they're going to be dinosaurs for sure. I think you'll probably find like isolates and like a complementary blend of terpenes or lipids or whatever. I think the customized medicine stuff that is possible with cannabis is a big forefront we can get to too. But
yeah, you know, you still got your guys smoking pipes. Like I'm talking about tobacco. You know, the grandpa out there smoking pipes. I think it's gonna be the same thing. You know, 30 years from now, there's gonna be the grandpas that are still loading up their pipes or their bongs to smoke some flower. But that's not necessarily the future. And you're seeing this in every new market that comes online. Obviously, flower is king. But there's that transition, that move towards finished products faster and faster with each market, you know. And a big part of that is that the black market now is full of branded finished products, you know, pre-rolls, vape pens, edibles. So people have this exposure to it before it even becomes legal in their state. But we're seeing that transition happening way faster. And we're trying to be on the front of that. You know, and that's why we're shifting towards mostly all packaged goods.
That's awesome.
Have you noticed that consumers tend to like with your two different pre-roll brands, is there any difference you're noticing in terms of sales or your marketing strategies, like not stuff that you can talk about or just what people tend to like, or like what's out there, like what are people doing?
Our Cabana brand is like the first thing people gravitate to. You know, that was kind of a pet project for us. You know, it's sexy, it's cool, it's fun. We didn't really see it being a huge opportunity, especially in the Oregon market. It's great. We can't make enough cabanas, and we intentionally keep it that way. You know, want everything to be limited, everything to be small batch, right? But you know, when we're out there talking to investors, we're out there talking to partners in new markets, like they immediately gravitate towards cabana. It's the one. So you know, that's what we're going to move forward with, especially in California. We're working on a licensing deal in California right now to take cabana down there, and yeah, that seems to be the brand over everything else.
That cabana is already I think the strongest brand in California without being in California.
Yeah, man,
like,
it's going to be good.
From the absolute jump. And top down, that's a product I think that just stands out. Like there is nothing else like it in the Oregon market.
Right.
Nothing else like it that I've seen in the California market really either.
Those tubes with the Spanish cedar lining, man, and the coming in the cigar box, it's just sexy. It's really sexy. Yeah, I'm really proud of what we did there too. You know, and I'm excited to get it going to California. Our partner down there, there's a lot of synergy in their brands and our brands, so it'll be a good fit.
Very cool. What's the timeline on that?
Man, I'm hoping March. I'm waiting to hear back from them. You know, we're raising our first round of funding. We bootstrapped it at this point, so you know that'll come along with raising our first round of funding.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's definitely something to be looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
That's like the very near future too.
Yeah, man.
That's
Sooner or
awesome.
later.
Are you taking the whole suite of products? Are you doing sticks and cabana?
We're going to start with just cabana.
Just cabana?
You know, it's a big project.
That's rad.
Yeah. We're going to take it slow. You know, we're working with Chris to work on getting bezel and buku down there.
Cool.
But our first step in is going to be just cabana. We're hoping to do this with Viola, who's our partner up here. There's a lot of synergy with their brand and our brand, so I think cabana is kind of the quickest route to success down there. Plus, I think it's a brand, like I said, I'm surprised how well it's worked in Oregon, but that's a brand that's really going to work in California.
It works really well in Oregon because there's so many Californians here.
Yeah, exactly. Probably.
And I mean, the best weed in California has always come from Oregon.
Right.
Hot take after hot
There
take.
you
What's
go.
up, y'all?
There it is.
No, I actually do. How has that process been for sourcing product in California for you for cabana?
Well, you know, Viola will do that for us.
Okay.
You know, they're going to make it to our specs, but they have a pretty good idea. We have a good relationship with them. They have a good idea of what we're looking for. We'll buy them a milling machine for that. And, yeah, that should, you know, they'll be making it for us. They have good connections. They have that supply chain pretty dialed. So
That's kind of awesome for you to you to be able to kind of tag along down there, right? Not have to be the guys who are doing like you're doing back home. Like you're the guys hustling it everywhere up here. You're moving the weight.
Man,
so
we're doing everything here. Yeah.
So it's nice to have, I think, developed your brands in the way that you have to really shake them out and be like, yeah, this is export ready. Like this is ready to go elsewhere.
Right. And that's what makes our model unique in this industry, right? We're taking a really traditional model. We're going to do it all in licensing deals. So that means that, if we want to go to Michigan, we just find a licensing partner who's going to manufacture and distribute our products. Then we just need a brand team on the ground. We can do Michigan with 10 people on the ground. I don't think anybody else can say that. And that's because we have the unique model that allows us to move fast and lean.
Which I can attest to, because you guys spin up quickly. When you guys put your mind to something, you spin up very quickly.
We knock them out, man.
Yeah.
We're brand guys,
Well, yeah. Explain the rest of your team. It's like,
yeah, we're all like brand marketers at our core. We just backed into being good at the distro and being good at the sales part of it. But where we really shine is brands, and we know that. We understand. Like I said, we're really committed to doing what we're good at, and that's kind of what formulated our strategy. And we quickly realized that it's unique, but I think we're really ahead with this. I think it's what's going to make us really successful on a real scale is that model. We're going to move fast.
That's really cool. Always to have the insulation of just home base, home team, doing what you're doing here.
Oh yeah.
Which is, again, I think you guys keep your head down and you just work. Like you just grind on it.
Yeah.
Like nobody else.
I run into trouble sometimes. I get asked about other parts of the industry or other brands in the industry. It's like, I have no idea. Like I live with my head in the sand being my building. If it doesn't happen in my building, it's not happening as far as I'm concerned. And sometimes I feel like I should know a little more, but and I say this to my team all the time. We're not worried about the competition. I don't mean that in sort of cocky way. I mean, if we do our best, we're gonna be just fine.
Yeah.
And I talk about that all the time with my team.
I think that's really cool. I think that's a self-fulfilling prophecy that you're writing for yourself.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, it keeps you from having to keep trying to react to what's happening.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. We resist that reaction. Unfortunately, with the on the edible front, we're gonna have to kind of conform to that. As you know, in this industry, there's a lot of gossip too. It keeps us way out of that part of it as well. Everyone's cool as far as we're concerned.
That's awesome. So, California, March. What else is coming up?
So our goal for 2019 is to have a brand in 3 different markets. So I think Michigan is probably the next target, along with Massachusetts. And then after that, we want to find a strategic partner that can give us access to all the limited license states, the New Yorks, the Floridas, that kind of stuff. And we're working on some projects on that front already.
Very cool. And I mean,
all right, sorry about that. I was just going to ask, I've been meaning to, do you guys have any CBD varieties in the market? Just because I know that's kind of getting hot now.
Yeah, we have in Bezel and Buku, our vape pens and our edibles. We have CBD 1-to-1 and THC configurations. And in terms of, it is part of the vision to take our products out of the OCC system with CBD. We haven't got there yet, but that's absolutely part of the vision.
I mean, just like you're talking about normalization in the larger market, that seems like the largest market is everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it's a good chance to get our brands out there. And then, starting with CBD and reeling back into the THC.
What do you think about CBD, man? Talk real.
I didn't believe in it for the longest time. To be totally real, right?
Uh-huh.
I like the older I get, the less tolerant of THC I am. And I'm so in on these like low THC, high CBD products. I'm all the way in. My biggest eye-opening experience was Colin's our COO. He took some CBD and THC distillate and mixed it into like a base muscle jelly. Like, I did not believe in the topicals. I thought it was all snake oil shit. And man, that shit worked. That shit worked so well. Like, we gave out to some people like at my gym and stuff, and some of our friends, and everybody was raving about it. I was like, okay, this is probably pretty legit. And I give my dog is a really nervous dog. I give her CBD and it works. I believe in that shit now, and I didn't. Awesome. I really didn't.
No, totally. And I think honestly, very similarly, like, and I had my aha moment. I was like, okay, interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally. How about CBD as just a market in general?
I mean, it's happening. It's huge. I think
crazy.
it's really cool. You know,
Is that another one that you're just kind of famously not interested, keeping your head in the sand on? Because it just really is just craziness. Like it's all these, you just hear the craziest stories coming from the CBD world.
yeah. Like I said, I think that's part of the vision. I also, you know, because we were early and we are willing to play in the THC world, which is you got to be a little bit of a cowboy. You know, there's I think the competition is a little less in the THC world. And I like that cowboy element, man. So I kind of like hanging out in our in the gray area. So we'll get to CBD eventually, but right now our focus really is THC.
I mean, it's one of those things too. You've again made a career of zigging where other people are zagging.
Yeah.
So I mean, I saw like a yard sign for CBD earlier.
Yeah,
today,
yeah.
Like call this dude.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
It has totally jumped the shark.
Yeah,
It's a real thing.
And that's another part of our commitment to doing what we're good at. It's like we figured out how to do this THC shit, and we're gonna run with it. You know, we already spread ourselves too thin, like famously spread ourselves too thin.
Yeah.
And this is that'd be another element of that. You know.
That's awesome. So hopefully just getting some more time for yourself.
Yeah, man. Getting money in the door is really gonna help. You know, really building out our staff. We all wear so many hats. It's crazy, and everybody kills it, and everybody does a great job, and we figure it out. But it's not easy, you know.
Seems to be a common thing in this industry. What do you think that is that you have to do wear so many hats or do so many different tasks?
We're like the ultimate startup. You know what I mean? We're a startup in a startup industry, you know, and and the opportunity is so big and it's happening so fast. There's so much to be done. You know, we talk about opportunity fatigue all the time, and the CBD is a great example. Like the CBD is a huge opportunity, right? But if we start focusing on that, then we take our eye off the THC, right? And you have to kind of put blinders on, decide this is what you're doing and do it. Or
we don't need more ideas.
Right,
Like,
right.
Ideas are everywhere,
And
right?
it's such a big opportunity. It's moving so fast and it's so wide open that you can just get caught in this web of just this. So we try really hard to stick to what we're good at, you know?
That's great, man. It seems like it's working to this point.
It is working, yeah. We've done all right.
Well, man, Sticks, Cabana, Bezel, Buku,
Yeah.
500 some odd of the 600 dispensaries in Oregon, California soon.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
a big year.
Yeah. I'm hoping this is our biggest year yet. You know, we've grown every year since inception, and I think this is the biggest year, and it's going to be the biggest growth we've seen. You know, especially if when we get some money in the door.
Totally. Well, here's hoping, man. Rad. Awesome. We appreciate you taking the time coming out, man.
Of course, dude. Anytime.
Awesome.
I like hanging out with you guys.
Likewise, brother.